attending several of the APS virtual programs. Do you care to take a moment to tell us about any of those?
Well, there's so much stuff going on with the APS. I actually haven't been on there this past week. I've had other stuff that I've been dealing with, but APS has quite a few amazing programs. Their stamp chats. They usually have what, about 3 stamp chats a week now, Scott?
We're scaling back, so we have 1 or 2 a week now.
1 or 2 a week. And there's always something interesting, you know. If you've got any interest in collecting at all, you'll find something on there. And all of their stamp chats are recorded and put on YouTube, so you can go back and check them out anytime you want to. So if you go to youtube.com and type in APS, you'll find more than you ever wanted to see on there. Believe me, there's a lot of good stuff out there. And I'll probably end up doing a article for the newsletter to show you some of my favorite ones. Conversations with Philatelist is an amazing podcast right now, and I think there's a lot of people that like it. There's a lot of history with the APS on I can't, guy's name's Graham Beck. He did a great series on stamp collecting, and he's like a novice collector and just jumped in. He ended up being probably the example to try to get to for stamp videos, for philatelic videos. But there's a lot of good things out there, a lot of good things to check out. Just go on YouTube and type in philately or APS. You'll find all kinds of good stuff.
Hey, thank you very much, Rick. Appreciate that update. Let's go to something we usually do that Gary McNamee directs, and it's something called Where in the World Is It?, where he challenges us to identify a country. So Gary, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. This country issued its first stamp in 1941. But most of its stamps have come since the 80s. And some of the early stamps show a picture of a King Peter, and they are overprinted in black from another country. There is a stamp dealing with the city of Ilok, I-L-O-K. There is a series of stamps on the 500th anniversary of discovery of America, issued in 1992. There is a town called Split. I'm not sure if that's the way to pronounce it, S-P-L-I-T, which celebrated its 1700th anniversary within the last few years. Some of their stamps have the designation Republic of Hrvatska, H-R-V-A-T-S-K-A.
Well, Hrvatska is Croatia, so I know that.
That is it. I don't know who got it, but that is Croatia.
I guess Croatia, as soon as you said 1941, because that's when they started issuing stamps.
Ryan.
But I thought it'd go on a little further to make for sure.
Because I have a sort of a pen pal / trading guy I deal with in Croatia. So.
Welcome, Art. Hadn't seen you on before. Didn't know you were with us. Art, do you have anything for show and tell?
I have the new 2021 stamp issues, but I think probably most of you have already seen those on the internet. The U.S. stamp issues.
Year's releases.
So if you'd be interested in seeing the first, I think there's 17 issues announced. Of course, there'll be another dozen if it's like last year, but so far they have images of 63 stamps. You can probably just look at them on the internet, but I do have them.
Well, it would be great
Okay.
if they not just issue the stamps, but actually send them to the post offices. There was a holiday booklet for the winter scenes of 10 different stamps that was issued in what, mid-October, and the Plano post office has yet to receive them because they're not on automatic shipments, which is, I don't know, just stupid.
They're trying to get rid of all those ones from past years. If you read that, that's why they're only down to 2 booklets now, because they have so many left over. No one sends Christmas cards anymore.
I do.
The winter scenes has a beautiful picture of horses.
Well, my collector friend in Croatia wants some of these stamps because he collects fauna on stamps. So, but I can't get them to him because I haven't been able to buy them. So,
I think
Okay,
the old
thank you
Bedford
very much,
Post Office might have
Art. Glad you joined us. Let's see, moving down the announcements and otherwise, Scott, you want to update us on APS now? Anything you haven't told us?
Sure. Just a quick programming note. We posted an announcement last week. Our membership director, Tom Lobig, is leaving. We actually made that effective immediately. Tom is sticking around to work on content and newsletter. So, but Wendy Mazzorti, who was our sales director, volunteered. She came from membership years ago and wanted to go back and tackle recruitment retention. So I took her up on the offer, and she is now back in membership working with the team there. Carol Hoffman, who was her number 2 in that office for the last 4 years, and Carol's been around for a long time. She's 41 years in at the APS at this point. He's taken over the sales department. So we're very excited about that. Some of the content team that's been working on the web and on stamp chats and all that stuff, Rick, you'll need to know this, are all now moving underneath of me. So they're all going to start working for me directly because I want to put a more energetic focus on outreach and marketing. And I think the best way to do that is by cutting out the directors who sometimes get diverted with the crisis of the day instead of looking at the horizon. So we're going to focus real hard in 2021 on really being aggressive about marketing. We're really going to step up the community side of things because that's got a huge payoff, I think, for us. So you'll see some different programming coming about and some new programming coming about in 2021. I don't think I mentioned this the last time I was on the call, but in October, I met with the APS and the APRL boards together. For those of you who are APS members and you've been around for a while, you know that we bought the Match Factory back in 2002 and proceeded to invest about $16 million in the rehabilitation of the building. When I got here, we just launched the construction of the new library. And after that project was completed, we were $5.4 million in debt in total. And what I said in 2016 to the membership and to our boards is that we had a 20-year glide path on paying down the debt, and I wanted to cut it in half. I remember the looks I got from everybody in the room about how crazy I was for saying that. As of that meeting, we were about $1.5 million in debt today. But as of that meeting, I put together the finance package to close out the debt. So my objective by the end of the year, I'm waiting on one piece of the puzzle to fall into place, which should be happening soon. I plan to retire the debt before the end of the year, and we'll start 2021 debt-free for the first time in 20 years.
Fabulous. Let's give them a
Congratulations.
hand.
Yeah,
Good job.
good.
Even as ambitious as I was, I beat myself to the punch by 5 years. Our total interest savings over the life cycle is going to be about $1 million, about 1.1 total. So that's money that ain't going to the bank. We're going to be able to use for the hobby and for the betterment of the APS. So I'm very happy about that accomplishment and very proud of it. I think that's a fantastic thing for us. It's bittersweet because we've lost a couple of members who've been very generous to us, but that investment also matters too. And that the most recent one was never on anybody's radar screen for donations, but as it turns out, he was very fond of the library staff and our team. And because of that, he left his entire estate to us. We are still planning Chicago 2021. It's going to be a little bit of a scaled back show for those of you. When you'll get the December issue, I talk about that in the magazine. The challenge we have obviously is with the pandemic, what size restrictions we'll be facing, how the vaccine is going to get distributed. So we're keeping an eye on all of those things. I know that a lot of World Series shows are taking a serious look in the first half of the year. I'm not entirely sure there are going to be a lot of big shows. Just being honest, because of restrictions, cost of compliance, those sorts of things. Y'all just went through this, so you know how difficult it is to manage a crowd of folks and keep them to, sometimes it's a little hard to get them to behave themselves, but you know, you've got to take all of those things into consideration. So I do expect that by the end of the year, we will be back to, I'll call it more normal. I don't know if we can call it normal yet, but I definitely think it'll be more normal. And so we're doing everything we can to support the hobby in the meantime. And like Rick says, you know, come to our website. We have some great people doing presentations weekly. And we're going to continue to keep putting out informative stuff so that people who are stuck at home and need some connection on any given day of the week can come to the APS and get it.
Well, thank you very much, Scott. I've got to say that I have been overjoyed with the recent issues of the American Philatelist magazine. They are of the utmost quality. I really am impressed with what has been done with that in recent months. So
we have a whole brand new team. The editor, Gary Lowe, was our expertising director. Susanna Mills, who we brought in as the associate editor last year, is really coming into her own as an editor. And Chad Cowder, who is our new graphics design person, is putting a little bit of a different touch on the magazine too, so that the look and feel is a little different. I think you'll like the December issue. It's fantastic. We even have an article written by a 12-year-old collector whose family is from India, and she talks about a holiday they celebrate in January there, and I always mispronounce it, so I won't try to insult anybody by doing that. But it's a great art read, and we also do a profile of the young lady. She is a dynamo. I hope she's still collecting stamps in 10 years. She might get a job here.
okay, thank you very much. Is there any other announcements that we need to have before I turn it over to Stanley Christmas?
About the only announcement I have is there's no Christmas party. But
Will there be a Christmas Zoom meeting?
I haven't heard any word about a Zoom meeting yet.
You can all join with some wine.
Judy, do you mind telling us about what will take place at the next meeting in Arlington, which would be early the first?
January the 6th. The new officers will be installed. That's about all that I know at the moment. I don't know what the program, what Richard has as the program.
Okay, but there will be no party.
No, there will be no party.
And no bingo, Stanley?
No bingo.
No bingo. Okay. Thank you very much. Well, Stanley, can I turn it over to you now? Scott alluded to programs and alluded to shows. We've just completed one of the few that's going to be held in this calendar year. So please tell us how it went, because I know several of the folks on our meeting tonight did not attend for safety reasons.
Yeah, well, I guess to quote Ben Termini, he says, we actually pulled it off. So I think we needed to give a lot of kudos to Ralph. He was the spark plug that pieced everything together. And we did do the show. I guess I just kind of give you, some highlights. We had 21 dealers. We had 22 paid A to Z, dropped out at the last minute because Mike came down with kidney problems, but we did have 21 dealers. 10 of them were new. So there was some new blood in the show. And we put things together on Thursday night. Evan came with his crew and we got the frames up. I did registration and we got we we printed up 360 programs and I threw away about 100. So our total attendance was counting dealers and club members was about 300. If you take off the dealers and the club members, it takes us to 250. And the repeats who came in on Saturday was about another 25. So actually we had about 225 people attend the show. That was a little lighter than I thought, but those that came in the door stayed in there. So I guess, Jim, can you give me an idea what the dealers thought about the show? Was it profitable?
Well, I didn't get to speak to all of them. To me, it seemed like the attendance was lighter than the previous year.
Oh yeah, it was much lower.
Yeah.
We did about the same amount in sales though as last year. So like you said, the people that came were coming to buy. And
okay, that's good. That's good.
Fortunately, I had a nice sale right at the end of the show, but I kind of felt sorry for the out of town dealers because they have a lot of additional expenses, which I didn't have for this particular show. So, you know, if they didn't do well, then they, really didn't do well.
Right.
But I don't have any individual feedback.
Yeah, I don't
from
have
any of
any.
the out of town dealers.
Yeah.
I talked with Laban Harris, and he was of the opinion he didn't care if he made money or not. He was glad to be at a show.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
I might
gather-
add, I'm not aware of any COVID cases. We're what, 10 days out now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we haven't heard any yet so far, so.
Yeah, we had to, one of the requirements was that we had to keep a list of everybody who walked in the door and get their phone number and their email. And which meant that I didn't get their addresses for the mail out update, but I do have emails. And that was a requirement of the county. We also had to require everybody to wear a face mask. And that really was about, that social distancing was really the only restrictions that we had. So I think that worked out real well. Everybody was very cooperative. We had absolutely nobody refused to wear a mask or
Follow the rules.
follow the rules. So anyway, we got things set up Thursday, and on Friday we opened up at 10 o'clock. We had a handful of people that were there at 10 o'clock, and people just kind of dribbled in during the day. No real major rush, but it was a steady flow of people. And then we closed down at 5. We did not do the awards dinner, so there's nothing to talk about on that. Unfortunately, Dave and Barb we didn't do the president's dinner, so there's nothing really to talk about on that. We opened up on Saturday at 9 o'clock, and we didn't have anybody between 9 and 10. So I'm really beginning to wonder if this opening up at 9 o'clock on Saturday is a good idea, and I'll bring that up with Ralph at the expo meeting, which I'm thinking he'll probably schedule sometime in January or February. Anyway, we did I think we had less people on Saturday than we did on Friday, which kind of surprised me. But we shut down at 4 o'clock, and at 5:30 we were gone. It was, I think we had the only show in the Southwest this year. We made $456.81. We actually made money on the show.
If we had had the judges, we wouldn't have.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Patrick Walters was the judge, and we had 48 frames of exhibits, but they were all non-competitive. Patrick went ahead and he rated each of the frames, and he developed a little local form, which I think was pretty good. And we may just kind of take a look at it for next year. But with the lunches went very well this year. We didn't have, I don't think we even had a hitch, right?
Nope.
No. Now, of course, everybody missed the drinks and the waters, but we did have a vending machine, which I believe stayed full during the whole show. We'd asked John Smith to keep it filled up, and the dealers were very, very cooperative about using the vending machine, or they went out and brought in drinks in the morning. We had the drawings, and we have one person that I want to commend as being, we're going to go to Vegas, because for the first time I can ever remember, we had somebody win on Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. And Jim Taylor, congratulations. You're the first person to ever three-peat.
It was a pleasure, and I was happy to spend the money at the show.
I'm sure you were. We gave away 14 $25 certificates, and we also had Connie. I'll mispronounce her name, but Wardendijk, and she won twice. So everybody else won once. So, but anyway, I do want to congratulate you, Jim, and we'll have to change the rule so we don't have that happen again. Because I did have some people kind of roll their eyes a little bit, and we'll bring this up at the meeting. But again, I'm glad you won, and I'm glad you spent the money. That's what the gift certificates were for. Let's see, Skipper. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. How about the beginners collectors area? Was it?
Well, of course, we didn't have any children at the beginners table. I guess the youngest person I think I saw there was probably about 40, but but we did have at least half a dozen people who had inherited collections but didn't know much about collecting, that I think we helped quite a bit. That I had made up some what I call beginner stamp packets, and I gave away quite a few of those. I didn't put them out for just the taking, but if people seem interested, I pointed it out to them, and so I think those were well received. I have since followed up on emails with 3 people, and I will get together with them because I offered them some surplus catalogs, Scott catalogs, and I think those the information that is in those will help them a great deal. And hopefully, maybe if they don't join, at least they'll be repeat customers for Expo next year.
Excellent. Bob Wiedemann set up his mixture pick at a location right down the hall from the registration table. He did over $1,000 worth of business.
No.
Okay.
No, it was only 188.
Oh, someone told me 1,000.
No.
He did $188 worth of business.
At 2 cents a stamp, that ain't bad.
Yeah, boy, yeah. Karen set up her transport at the usual location, and she did about 160.
Yes.
So both of those brought in some money for the club. And let me see here. I think that's really about all the news from Expo. I see Ralph has come in.
Yes,
So-
I apologize for being horribly late.
Oh, no problem. Let me see.
You missed your kudos, Ralph.
Yeah, yeah.
That I can miss,
I'll
but being
repeat 'em.
on the call and having the opportunity to thank the volunteers that we had that did a spectacular job under combat circumstances. So I am very appreciative. And I think we did the Mid-City Stamp Club Expo proud and was able to carry on our 33rd year. So, and hopefully we won't face these obstacles next year.
Right. But anyway, I did want to, I opened this thing up with a congratulations to Ralph for being the spark plug who actually got this show going and kept it going. And we all want to thank you, Ralph, for all your hard work. So, yeah. Clap.
Yeah.
It's definitely a labor of love, and I'm glad that I was able to be a part of it.
And that's really about the show in a nutshell.
Okay, are there any questions for Stanley or
Yeah.
Ralph?
Lay them on us.
Well, thank you very much,
Okay.
Stanley, for your update, and Ralph, thank you for your leadership in pulling off such a show.
Can I offer a couple of thoughts? Because I did talk to a couple of the dealers that were at the show. Steve Taylor was just ecstatic to be there, even though he had to travel all the way from the UK. And I don't know if you all know this or not, but Steve has to quarantine for 14 days before he gets there, and then 14 days after he leaves. So he called me this week. He emailed me from the show. He said the most dangerous thing for him was crossing the street because the traffic was kind of intense there at the time. But
That's
so he wasn't worried about wearing a mask nearly as much as he was worried about getting run over by a truck. So, but his feedback was he ended up breaking even, but he personally, it was good for him because he can come to the United States and get Great Britain stamps for a great bargain because there's no channel to dispose of them other than him. So he said he got extremely discounted postage to send out Christmas cards this year. So it was well worth the trip just for that alone. He said he hit break even, but it was great because he could be among dealers and collectors again. So the camaraderie had a value to it to him that was well worth it. I talked to Fred Boatwright, who said he did pretty well at the show. He is the show chair for the St. Louis Stamp Expo, and he is now planning the next show for them. But he was a rookie show chair this year, and under the same circumstances, Ralph, he was under fire like you and had to put this together in an amazing headwind. And I think both of you should be congratulated for the work that you did to make this happen. And so I appreciate that. But he said he did pretty well at the show. He doesn't he's not over exuberant about how well he does. So my guess is he must have had a real good buyer roll in there and take care of him. So that's the good news. And Laborin, same thing. He didn't care if he lost $2,000. He wanted to take this road trip more than y'all can imagine and be there and be among the collectors. So you made an old man happy, and that's very important to me because he's a good guy. So thank you very much for that. All in all, everyone seemed satisfied with the crowd, the people. They had measured expectations to begin with. So I don't think they were disappointed by the number of people that showed up, and all of them appeared to be spenders. So that's the good news. So even though nobody got rich off the show, they didn't get poor off the show either. So for me, that's a win given the circumstances that you're dealing with.
Yeah, because when I wandered around, I noticed Dave Cobb had a lot of business at his. And for those of you who don't know Dave, Dave's the one that has this powerhouse selection of United States stamps, and so and he didn't appear to be unhappy when he left, so he must have made some sales.
All right, thank you.
Any closing thoughts?
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that comments too about our show. So we can look forward to next year. And Ralph, you've outdone yourself, I'm sure. Now, is there any other things that we need to bring before this meeting? there will be, as I reminded you, a December meeting at Arlington. Is that December 2nd, I believe the date is?
No,
And
no
that'll
meeting.
be, huh?
I don't, Rick, are we gonna do a Zoom meeting next week?
No, you're gonna,
I'm sorry.
We, at
Rick,
the,
you're mute. You're
at the
mute,
last,
Rick.
yeah, at the last Arlington meeting, we talked about maybe having a Zoom meeting, and Judy suggested a program about your favorite or least favorite Christmas stamp. And I kind of thought that was a good idea. So
Okay.
I, for one, would vote for a Zoom meeting at Arlington next
All right.
week.
Would you be willing to film it then, Skip?
Film
I'm
it?
not gonna be
Oh,
there.
no, it would be a Zoom,
It'd be a
no, it'd be
Zoom.
not be an in-person meeting though.
Oh, you
Although
mean,
I guess we could do that if,
Wait. we can do strictly Zoom if that's what you would like to do, but
Let's just do a Zoom.
yeah, that's what I would prefer.
Yeah, let's just do a Zoom in December on the 2nd then. So
okay.
yes, you'll go ahead and make the announcement so everybody knows. And Rick, if you'll get it lined up,
Okay.
let me know.
That's
So
no,
there
Like-
will not,
In the newsletter.
so there will not be a live meeting in Arlington.
No, there will
Correct.
not be a live meeting, no.
Okay, thank you. And look
There
forward
won't be
to-
a dead meeting either.
Well,
There'll be a virtual meeting.
There'll be a virtual meeting, yes.
yeah. And the Granbury group does not traditionally meet in December, and we
Right.
will not be meeting because it would fall right among the Christmas holiday period. So the next virtual meeting of the Granbury group, which you're now participating in, will be Tuesday, January 26th at 7 o'clock Central Time. So that'll be the starting time. And as you know, I always start right on time. So we will do that. My plans are that the Granbury group will meet virtually at least through April.
Okay,
In April, we will reassess what the situation is. We do have the space available to us. They're going to continue to let us use the activity center if we want to use it. But I have told them that we definitely would not have any meetings before April. And after that, we will judge what the situation is with the virus and all, and proceed from there as to what would be most appropriate. So we will continue to meet virtually. And other than that, I have nothing else to add. I'm going to open the meeting for just discussion, which always goes well after these meetings. I am proud to say that we have at least 17 participants, which is the most we've had for any of these virtual meetings. And I thank you all for attending and participating, and you're welcome to stay on. Rick will continue to leave it open, and we can have discussions and share information from now on. So I turn it over to all of you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
So,
Thank you, Stanley.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving.
well, the newsletter will be ready hopefully in a day or three, depending on how quickly I get the transcript from this evening's notes, right, Skip? And it's already a whopping 14 pages right now, so this might make it 15 depending on the length. And certainly I've already got the December issue, which of course won't have much in terms of minute meetings or anything like that, but I'll probably have enough been there, done that, and other miscellaneous philatelic articles for some reading during the holidays. But this issue will not go out before Thanksgiving because it'll you know, even if I were able to get it out tomorrow, you wouldn't get it because until Friday. So more than likely it'll go off Friday or maybe Saturday, depending on when I can get it all done and print it. But it's 14, possibly 15 pages.
Can you slip a little thing in there that there'll be a virtual December Arlington meeting?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Is it going to be the same, Rick, is it going to be the same link information as always, or?
Yeah.
Okay,
it'll be
I
the
can put
same.
that in the newsletter.
I may end up having to put a password on that in order to avoid having everybody go into a waiting room.
Oh, okay.
So,
And luckily nobody's Zoom bombed us yet, so.
yeah, really. So, we'll see how that works out. I'll let you know.
Okay. Well, the password can always be sent by Skip separately, and then we'll just, you know.
Yeah.
Dave, Skipper, remember up there on the beginner's table, Skip was at Saturday or Friday afternoon. There were two ladies.
Right.
They didn't want to
And-
leave.
and-
they were excited and they couldn't stop looking at stuff. And they live at Granbury, by the way.
Well,
I wish you'd got their name or contact for me.
Hey, I don't ask ladies for their phone numbers anymore.
And you're married,
I'm
Dave. What do
past
you
that
need to know?
stage.
I did get the email of the one who lives in Granbury, and I did send her a follow-up email.
Good.
And I'll forward that to you, Dave.
Thank you very much.
But
Appreciate
they were really excited, and that's kind of what we want to see, right? Somebody that hasn't been active just get excited, and they just couldn't quit.
it.
No,
Okay.
they couldn't.
Wish I'd been there to meet him, Jim.
Yeah. Hey, they were nice ladies, mid-40s maybe.
They
I'm
talked
always
about having
interested in younger
grandkids,
women.
didn't they?
Yeah, one of them did. One of them did talk about her grandkids. Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I did have another show and tell item. This is something I picked up in, trying to angle this so it's straight. This I picked up at John Topper's dollar cover box, and you know, it looks like, okay, it's got a coin in there. Usually it's a piece of aluminum slug, but this on the back says it is solid sterling silver. So whatever the weight of this is, which is about the size of a $half in here, that would probably make it worth, you know, at least $10 in silver value alone. The cover as such isn't probably worth much. Obviously, it's in a dollar cover box, although it does have both the Canadian and English, US versions of that Ben Franklin stamp. But you know, having that coin right there is, keep putting it in the wrong spot in front of the camera. There we go.
Peter, that
Yeah.
looks like a proof coin.
Yeah, it looks like a
Yeah,
coin.
yeah.
I mean, it's just a silver brown, so it's not has any spending value. So it just says it's 1,098 of 2,500. It feels like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
No,
it
it's not,
is
it's not,
it does
yeah,
say
it's not a Franklin.
no, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's not a
sure.
Franklin.
No, I don't think so.
No, looking at it closer.
Yeah, on the back it says it's the Medalist Cover Society or something. Medalist Cup. Never heard of them, but you know, get $10 in silver for $1. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
If it's the size of a 50-cent piece of silver, when you melt it down, which I'm sure you will do, it's probably worth $8 just for the silver.
Well, whatever it
there.
is, it's worth more than $1. So
That's a good return on investment.
Yep.
I'll hang on to it for now. Silver prices are up to what, $25 an ounce, and they were like what, 16 just a couple of years ago. So
Well, I'm going to sign off. You all have a safe and healthy Thanksgiving.
You
All
too,
right,
Dave.
same to you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dave.
Everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Dave.
Dave.
I'm going to do likewise. I have a meeting on the West Coast to join soon.
Oh,
Uh, So I've got to knock some things out of the way, but I hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And thank you so much for all you're doing.
Thank you, Scott, for all you're doing.
I
Much
appreciate it.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
right.
Take care,
Take care.
fellas.
Bye.
Bye, John.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, thanks. Welcome.
Thanks for
Coming in with us.
Thank you.
We're losing people right and left here.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm gonna go too and type up these these minutes for Peter.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks, Skip. Have a good one.
Adios.
Away we go.
Looks like Judy's still connected there, even though there's no picture.
So what I do to exit, you just close the,
Yeah, should be an icon on the lower right. I think it says end. Are you on an iPad?
a laptop.
A laptop.
Yeah, this is my wife's computer, so I'm not, let's see, it looks like all the
Somewhere
icons are at the
margins.
top.
Somewhere around the margins of the screen, it should say end somewhere. I can just shut it off if you're ready to get out. I can shut everything off.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. Have a good one, Jim.
Okay, you too.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, same to you. Thank you.